Man, that Jake Paul Tyson fight, can you believe it? Well, actually, after looking at it and thinking about it, yeah, I can. I can believe it. Um, I'm not about to buy into all the conspiracy stuff and Mike got paid to take it out. Let's be real. Let's really objectively look at this. Mike Tyson, 58 years old, against a 27-year-old. I know we bought into the, if you're a 80s baby like me or older, or even if you just saw highlight footage, baddest man on the planet, I know we bought into the aura that's Mike Tyson. That ain't Mike Tyson no more. Mike Tyson, 58 years old. I mean, think about it like this. And after I go back and looking at it and thinking about it, and even leading up to it, I got to thinking about it. You got a 58-year-old, yeah, granted, what he was against a 27-year-old. If I'm 27 years old, training for an event, boxing, football, basketball, gymnastics, I don't care what it is, baseball, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be the 58-year-old, no matter who that 58-year-old is. Now, you respect that 58-year-old and their accomplishment, but going back to my 27-year-old mind, ain't no way a 58-year-old beating me in anything athletically. They're well past their prime. So I don't even, and when you look at Mike, look 58 years old. I don't know what it is about getting older. Your legs the first thing to go. His legs was gone after the first round. He's exhausted. Prime Mike seldom made it out the first 2 rounds, let alone 58-year-old Mike. So he's never built up any conditioning to go the distance. I mean, he boom, bam, fight over. So after about the second round, which coincidentally he won, per the scores, he won the first 2 rounds. It was downhill after that. And I know all the pre-fight hype stuff, looking at his training video montages and all that stuff, and he looked like, man, if he connect, night. But again, objectively think about it, what did we not see in all those training videos that we saw? A moving target. Jake Paul did the smart thing and stayed outside his reach. He left Mike standing in the middle of the ring, circling, chasing him. Mike wasn't going to chase him all night. He's 58 years old. Mike wasn't going to chase him all night. If this was in a phone booth, totally different outcome. Mike would have had his lunch. Prime Mike would have had his lunch. But we talk about 58-year-old Mike who hasn't fought in however long. I think that one with Roy Jones Jr. was the last one, for whatever that was. And then prior to that, how long before that? We talk about a 58. People want to come out with all these conspiracies about what was in the contract. Oh, he couldn't uppercut, or he couldn't knock him down, or he wouldn't get paid. Man, unless the FBI present this, a copy of an authentic contract that and Mike Tyson's signature on it, and he holding up 2 forms of ID to verify that this was Mike Tyson that signed it. It's just stop and think objectively. Would your 27-year-old self think you could lose anything against a 50? Y'all the type of people who think Michael Jordan can come back today and be Air Jordan. No. He'll be layup line Jordan. That's what his new moniker will be, layup line Jordan. He'll stay around the 3-point line. He ain't driving down the lane and dunking on nobody and doing 360s in the air and skywalking. Like, really think about it. Really put some critical thinking into it. If I was a bet, I was going to say if I was a betting man, I do bet occasionally, but I stayed away from that because it's almost like the easy thing would be like, I'm betting on Mike because Mike going to shock the world and show he still got it. But as it led up to it, I was like, man, He's 58. It would have been a heck of a story had he not Paul out, especially for the caliber of fights Paul has had, and how he, parade around like he's his all-time great fighter, even though he's built his career off fighting past their prime guys. A couple guys ain't even been boxers, but past their prime, athletes, and hey, he's made a career out of it. He's made a lot of money doing it. Props to him for that. And he honestly, he got the biggest fish that he could ever get. Nothing beyond this will top, what he did with Mike Tyson. The only thing that could come close is if he came down to more nearer there, like if he went against a Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury, those caliber of guys who may not be in a prime, but not too far from it, who still, you give them 6 months, they'll be right. Deontay Wilder and all his flailing, if he connect once, he dead. I mean, but he not gonna fight guys like that. He could prove me wrong, but he not gonna fight guys like that. The only other thing would be to dig up the bones of a pre-shake Muhammad Ali. That probably sounds disrespectful, and I apologize. But I got to be specific on which Muhammad Ali we getting. That's the only, I was talking to my brother, and he said George Foreman. George Foreman older than Mike Tyson and way more out of shape than Mike Tyson. But George Foreman ought to be almost 80. So what other big fish could he get that draw that kind of attention, unless it's like a Deontay Wilder type? That would be an interesting fight to me. But for what he does and how this has become boxing, especially for, I guess, heavyweight division, because he's about 220. So I mean, for the guys who in it, in what's the divisions, IBF, IWC, and all that kind of stuff, it got to suck for them, because name me one of them boxers. I can't. And I'm not saying I'm an avid follower of the sport, but just as a casual fan, I can't name you one heavyweight boxer. I don't know who got the belt now. Oh, belts. I mean, because there's like 14 of them. But anyway, back to the point. I think it probably went how it should have, how we all should have thought it was going to go. I'm glad Mike didn't get knocked down, at least, or knocked out. And, I'm honestly glad that Mike got his flowers, for while he was in the ring. I'm glad this is probably even put into light, for a sketched past or life as Mike Tyson has had. And by no means am I minimizing anything he may have been a part of, allegedly or otherwise. It's been checkered, to put it mildly. But to be 58 years old, to go through all that, and to finally for your art to finally be appreciated, I'm happy I saw that. The just eruption that came when he walked out, the eruption when he was announced in the ring. I thought that was cool, even with all his stuff, but I guess my frame of reference is this. My dad is 59, almost 60. I think now I can take my dad. Like my dad almost 60 years old. If we got into a tussle, I can take my dad, like, with no stretching. Like, it would be one of those, like, I'm calm, like, as I'm restraining him. All right, Dad. Go on, Dad. Calm down. It'll be one of those type moments. He bustering all his, I'm Daddy, go on now. Go on. Like, that's how I think. My dad about to be 60 years old. Mike Tyson, 58. I don't know at what point he turned 59, but 58. Against a 27-year-old, like, there's no other world we live in where we would not think, oh, this 27-year-old about to mop up the floor. I mean, same prep time, same training, almost, training for the same event. There's no other sport, there's no other world that we will think that Emmitt Smith, my favorite player, football player of all time, Emmitt Smith ain't running through the A-gap. He's not running through the A-gap against Patrick Queen and running him over. Ray Lewis ain't stopping Derrick Henry right now. Lawrence Taylor ain't chasing down Lamar Jackson. They're just not. They can train all summer. And it'll be over before it starts. So just think critically. Stop thinking everything is a conspiracy. Y'all driving me nuts with it, and you driving yourself nuts with it. And it's foolish. We're buying into all these conspiracies and stuff like that. Just take a step back. You probably lost some money if you made some bets. But take a step back and think about it objectively. Even with all the training videos, he didn't train against a moving target. The guy he punched on with the little thing around his waist to protect him from internal bleeding, he didn't move. It was just target practice. That's like a hunter going to a shooting range, a gun range, firing at a target. Then get out there. Nobody told me deer move. Nobody told me that birds move. You've been shooting at this stationary target this whole time, hitting it on the spot every time. Bam, bam, bam. Oh, I got this. As soon as the bird fly the bush. Oh, what? So it was fun. I mean, I watched it after the fact because, another point. Mike, 58 years old, fighting at midnight. How many naps did he? Did he take a nap? I hope he took a nap at least before. I didn't make it to midnight. I fell asleep. I watched it the next day. With no buffer. Netflix, y'all need to get it together. But yeah, man. Hey. Father Time is undefeated.